Alright, welcome back to another episode of Driveway. Today, it's been another half a day after another full day of complete fails playing around with the Tiburon there. I was messing around with hooking up a intercooler system, and yeah, that didn't quite go so well. We'll revisit that later if and when I ever actually need intercooler. But instead, I need a little bit of wind today, so we're going to do something simple, just installing a air fuel meter, air fuel gauge, and probably bleed some brakes. So, yeah, let's go for it. Alright, well, I got my AFR gauge from AEM. So, basic stuff in there. You got your O2 sensor and a bunch of lines, and I really enjoy when you open up the bottom of the box. You get the dorky dude on there. But basically your gauge wires, O2 sensor, the wire to the O2 sensor from the gauge, and of course your gauge. They also give you the weld-in bung and a couple of butt splicers and a different faceplate and ring. Lucky for me, I've got my crossover tube out of the car still, and it's got what should be an O2 bung right there. And ain't that nice? They put anti-seize on there for you. There we go, not too bad. Find a wrench and snug this thing up a bit. Alright, that's all snugged up and we're ready to go back in the car. Okay, so I was fighting some electrical gremlins here and just opted to run another ground from that point up around and down to the battery. So it's like it wasn't starting the way it was supposed to, wasn't kicking it over fast enough, so it was time. Decided to get a different battery because the other one was making weird sizzle noises when you were charging it. So onward to the gauge installation. Essentially, I went and cut out a piece of tread plate, diamond plate, whatever you want to call it. And it will fit directly in here, so we can put the gauges inside the center console. So that will be nice. And I also put enough room for the cutout switch, since there's an exhaust cutout on there. So now I got an exhaust cutout switch right there. Go boost gauge here. This was an extra that I had from a diesel, so we're not going to get anywhere near that. Basically what we're going to do is just barely get up off the bottom of it. Might swap in a different boost gauge that's a little more accurate at the low PSI, but 5 is the white line, close enough. And next we get our air fuel. So there we go. It fits pretty nice. All right, now at the bench here. Put our gauge holder piece back on. Figures is on the floor. I think I left the one for the other gauge in the car. There's that. And I think I lost one of these for the other gauge. So that's probably going to be it. Unless I can find something in the toolbox. Okay, well, I guess that doesn't matter. So there we go. Not too bad. Now we got gauge wires. This is where instructions are good. And it looks like I lost my instructions. Okay, this is kind of ridiculous because essentially to pass it through the vehicle, you're going to have to drill a hole that big. So that's kind of dumb. It's like in the computer world, these type of things you can take apart by pushing that little, it's kind of a one-way clip. So if you push it down, you can actually wheeze all the wire out, just like that. So I'm gonna have to undo this, pass it through, and then redo that. So it's gonna kind of suck. All right, now that we ran that through the car, we get to put them back in the majigger. But I only remember which one was which on the white one. So I took a picture of it on the video camera, and I'll have to switch to finish putting those in. All right, we got the end back on. So now I just have to wire up the power and zip tie this thing away, and we'll be able to stuff it in the center console piece. So hooray for that. All right, here we are. I think we got everything all squared away. Got our gauges. Now let's see if they actually work. Alrighty. Anyone have guesses what we're gonna make? My guess is maybe 10. Well, at least it works. All right, since we got one thing done, time to move to the next. We're gonna bleed the brakes, since we had to disconnect the brakes to drop everything out. So, always the conundrum of how to do a one-person brake job. There's multiple ways. There's that weird little pump thing that actually will reverse pump. Then you can do something stupid like putting a little vacuum pump on there and go at it that way. Or a way I devised, which we'll see here in a little bit. We just take our random hose, easier said than done sometimes. All right, now we got our hose over the bleed valve. All right, so we just come in here, crack the bleeder. And then we got the rest of this length of hose. And then I usually hold my finger over the end. Give it a couple pumps. Go and refill the reservoir. And do it again. Alright, this is the part that I really like about this way of doing things. Is you go run your tube up, get it above the master cylinder, and then drop it back down into the master cylinder. So essentially, once you get it to run clear, so you're fully flushed out, you can just keep pumping and it'll just keep cycling through. And since that part of the hose is above the master cylinder, it's not going to ever run back. So, ta-da. Alright, well that's going to do it for today. Next time, trying to fix that crack in that bumper cover, and then we'll just button everything up and call it a project. So, almost closing in on the end, so yeah. We'll be getting started on some more fun stuff here, so we can put this one to bed. Alright, thanks for stopping by. Be sure to like and subscribe and that type of stuff, and yeah, we'll see you later.